It should come as no surprise to you all that data analysis is one of the top domains in the world of IT right now. With more and more people utilizing all the tools and techniques in the domain of analysis itself, this is creating a slight imbalance in the demand supply chain of proficient data analysts across the globe. Now, with this much popularity, there comes a good amount of learning that you have to do before looking into the details of the domain itself. Keeping this in mind, we here at Great Learning have come up with this video guiding you all on the data analyst job roles and salary trends for the year 2021 and beyond. Now, before we begin with the video, let me take a second to tell you about Great Learning Academy. We started this venture to provide free courses and free certification across a variety of domains, be it data science, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, machine learning, and a lot more. And of course, we do have courses in multiple languages as well. And these courses are taught by subject matter experts. And I'm sure you guys understand that a certificate adds an immense value to your resume and to your knowledge as well. So make sure to check out Great Learning Academy. Further details about this are put in the description box below. Now, on that note, if you guys are new to the Great Learning channel, do take a second to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. And if you enjoy the content, we would highly appreciate it if you could like the video, share it among friends and family members as well. Now, coming to the video itself, here are some of the key agenda points and key takeaways, of course. We'll begin this session by taking a quick look at what data analysis is and understanding how data analysis is performed. After which we can dive right into the heart of the session where we'll be discussing about all the job roles, the key responsibilities, types of data analysis in which you guys will be working on, and of course the salary trends for the year 2021 and beyond. Now, coming to what data analysis is, the first thing if you're looking towards data analysis as a career is that you should understand it is one among the most trending careers of all time, and it is getting a lot of interest regardless of the pandemic or not. Now, with data analysis, there are 4 key points I want to discuss. One thing is that a data analyst knows how to convert raw data into meaningful information, into useful information that is used to drive a lot of business critical decisions. Now, these business critical decisions may come as sales, may come from internal products, services, and a lot of other things. So the ability to actually derive insights from data and to see a certain trends develop from the data, for example, you've had in the past and the present, is something which is very important, and creatively putting it out there and showcasing this is what data analysis is all about. Now, if you're looking towards the importance of data analysis or to understand why we even require data analysis, well, let me quickly tell you this. We humans generate somewhere around 2.6 quintillion bytes of data every single day. Now, if you're wondering about what a quintillion byte means, it's 1000 quadrillions, and 1000 quadrillions mean a 1000 trillion and so on, right? These are bytes. Yes, this is the amount of data we generate every single day. And of course, if you did not know, all the data that we have, in fact 90% of the data we have right now came just in the last 3 years. Last 3 years is 2017, 2018 and 2019. Of course, we are almost at the end of 2020, and you can consider that as well. Now imagine the wealth of data that we have through which we can use to see where we are headed into the future itself. So to talk about the process of data analysis, see, working with large amounts of data is considered to be a lot of fun because data is considered as a treasure trove which will give you a lot of insights, hidden knowledge about what is presented and what is absent, in fact, to the naked eye as well. Now, here's how the process of data analysis is played out, or how it works. We get started with the process of data ingestion first. Now, data ingestion talks about how you can bring in data from multiple sources into your organization. You might be getting data from social media, from other companies if you're performing competitive analysis. It can be from your clients, it can be from servers in your company itself, it can be from a cloud computing platform, and a lot more. Now, a data analyst needs to have the capability to work with all of these data and to in fact bring the data in themselves for analysis. So data ingestion is a key part because all the data sets, all the incoming data is the most important important things. It is the fuel to the fire, what we call in the process of data analysis. And then once you have all the data at hand, it is extremely vital to pre-process this data and to clean it, of course. Now, cleaning is one of the most time-consuming aspect of data analysis because we as humans can quickly filter through knowledge comparatively faster than machines. But what happens when you go on to perform data analysis, if your data is dirty, is that you will have a lot of inaccuracy, you will have a lot of loss in terms of efficiency if you're using machine learning, just for the fact that the data can mislead a machine learning algorithm or mislead a statistical concept where it hurts rather than helps. So it is very vital that data is cleaned, and only clean data is then sent for the next step, which is data analysis itself. Now, whenever the talk is about data analysis, I am sure you always know that machine learning and all of these other concepts related to artificial intelligence come to center stage as well. Of course, the world has realized the power of machine learning, deep learning, and neural networks, and they've realized that this can be used to solve a lot of problems that we have at hand with respect to the data. And of course, you saw the amount of data we generate and then convert it into useful insight. Now, the end result of the process of data analysis will give you a result, an insight which was not possible to look at directly when you take a look at the data. Using this can be a set of numbers, and in fact, it can be hundreds of rows of data as well. But to beautify it, but to make sure that it is very convenient for everyone to look at it and understand what it means, data visualization is a key part. Data visualization is taking numbers and converting them into beautiful looking dashboards, graphs, and whatnot. This process of converting data into graphs is called data visualization itself, and it is a very important part of data analysis because a human brain can comprehend images 10,000 times faster than numbers itself. This is a proven fact, and doing this will definitely increase the impact and the exposure of the entire process of data analysis. And another important thing after data visualization is to present it to people who might not be from a technical background. Dashboarding and provision of insights there helps, because with the tools that we have today, especially business intelligence tools and a couple of analysis tools, it is very easy to go on to predict what might happen in the future in a very intuitive way by making use of a graphical user interface. Now, this rounds up the entire process of data analysis, but coming into what a data analyst does day in and day out, you really have to know one important thing. When the talk is about a data analyst's job, the key skill always comes towards how you can make data your friend rather than your enemy. Now, if you have a lot of data, you might think that it works against you. But in the case of data analysis, it is very important that you use all the data that you can get and maximize the usage of it. So sorting out and understanding what is that you do not require from the data, and of course what it is that adds meaningful information to your goal, is a very important skill of a data analyst. Now, it is not just working with data that already exists. Creation and manipulation of data sets is a key skill that a data analyst should possess. And if you guys are very seriously looking towards a data analyst role, understand that it is not always about using a data set that always exists. It is about creating one from scratch and making sure it is clean, it is pre-processed, ready for analysis, and everything that we discussed in the process of data analysis itself. Now, one thing about data that is elusive is that it keeps changing. Data is never the same, right? So you need to have the capability to work with structured data, to work with unstructured data. Now, structured data can be an Excel worksheet where your data is neatly put into rows and columns. Unstructured data can be considered as images, can be considered as video, music data, and of course, a lot of other things too. Now, keeping this in mind, you need to have the ability, you need to have the practice enough to look towards these different types of data and to understand how you are supposed to cater your time and efforts into driving insights out of that. This will call for some expertise, but of course, with a good amount of training and a good amount of practice, you guys can do that. So to get started with data analysis for free, I would highly recommend you guys check out our course on this in the Great Learning Academy. And of course, if you're liking the content that you're seeing right now, make sure to click that like button and make sure to subscribe, as it means a lot to us and helps us to bring better content out to you guys. Now, Talking about the primary focus of a data analyst's job, one thing is that you have to keep the pipeline intact. Now, what I mean by this is to make sure that you see that data keeps flowing in and out of your grasp as a data analyst into the further teams ahead. Now, you might be in constant touch with the data science team, the IT team, and of course, a lot of other teams to make sure that when the data comes into your architecture and you are responsible from the moment that it does until it leaves. So keeping your data safe, keeping your data from any sort of unauthorized use is extremely important. It is not just looking towards safety or data or keeping the pipeline intact. It's all about making sure your data is reusable as well. Well, in the world of IT, time is money, and if you can make use of your data in multiple ways rather than just one single pinpoint, that definitely adds a lot to the business. Coming to what a data analyst's toolbox looks like, as a budding data analyst, you really need to have some expertise in programming languages such as Python, R programming language, and of course SAS. Working with databases is a key thing, as I've mentioned in the process of data ingestion. So you will require knowledge about languages such as SQL, be it TSQL, which stands for Transact SQL, and a lot more. And of course, the most popular data analysts tool is Microsoft Excel and business intelligence tools like Power BI, Tableau, and a lot more. So having these in your arsenals of skills and understanding how you can work with one or more of the tools that you see on your screen right now is going to take you a long way in your data analyst's role. So speaking of a data analyst's role, you really have to understand the variety of domains that exist in data analysis to see where you would fit yourself well. And of course, depending on what the company is asking for, where you'll be applying for, and how the world is moving towards in 2021 and beyond, it is very vital that you check out all three varieties of data analysis. We have descriptive analysis, we have predictive analysis, and prescriptive analytics. Let's start with descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics always talks about and describes an event in happening and then checks out how analytics can be used to understand it better. It literally describes the situation. Now, if you're wondering about how descriptive analysis works, here are some of the questions which is usually related to descriptive analysis. For example, why did the sales decrease this month? Or how did this product become popular? What are the reasons for the sales spike? And a lot of other questions where the answer is going to be descriptive, where the answer describes the problem at hand, or the answer itself will provide the insight to see the current standings or of course see the future trends as well. Now, there might be many reasons of why the sales decreased in this particular month, which definitely is a descriptive answer, right? So you can go on to work with that. Now, why did a product become so popular? Of course, depending on trends, depending on if you marketed the product a lot and a lot of that. So as you can see, it is descriptive. The answers to all of these questions can be worded out, put down in a paper, in a paragraph, and of course, this will be driven by data itself. And then coming to predictive analytics. Predictive analytics, as the name suggests, is talking all about what can happen in the future, right? Now think about all the products that needs to be stocked up for the holiday season. A lot of people buy gifts, a lot of people buy chocolates right now. So it is very vital that companies go on to do that. If you are stocked up with 10 products, but there's a requirement for 10,000, you lose a lot of business. Now, if you have 10,000 chocolates, but you sell 10 for a really long time, and since it's a perishable item, you lose a lot of money. So it's very vital to predict where you might be in the future and then catering based upon that, right? So what will the trending product be next summer? Are there a pair of cool sunglasses? Is there a new sunscreen coming out? Are people looking towards buying new and cool shorts for the beach vacations and whatnot? And of course, if you're putting in a good amount of money for your marketing campaign, what is the return that you can predict using numbers? From that is a very vital aspect of predictive analytics too. And then coming to prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive analytics, as the name suggests, it's a prescription. So it talks about the action that needs to be taken after an event has happened. Now, for example, if there was a case where, as I just told you, during the holiday season, you stocked up 10, but there was a requirement for 100. So how would you bridge this supply and demand gap to make sure it doesn't happen again? Well, prescriptive analysis is used to answer that. And of course, if you have a product or a service that's being sold in the market right now, what are your people talking about about it. How will you use this customer feedback to develop the product, and how will you make sure this loop of keeping the customers happy goes on? Well, prescriptive analytics. And it's not only that, answers to prescriptive analytics questions are very important because they are the foundational aspects of making sure that the mistakes which have happened in the past or in the present will not reoccur in the future. And if it does, there is a methodology to handle that to make sure that there is no loss of sales. Now, coming to the key responsibilities of a data analyst, irrespective of all the domains that you've been put in, be it prescriptive, descriptive, and all of that, right? So here are some of the things a data analyst is responsible for. One thing is database design. Of course, as I just mentioned, it is very vital you understand not only to use existing data sets, but to make sure to create your own, to segment it, to divide it, pre-process it, clean it, and of course, mine it for all the information that's required. And you need to have the capability to provide solutions by making use of languages in databases such as SQL, TSQL, and more, and programming languages such as Python, R, SAS, and a lot more as well. It is not only this. As a data analyst, you need to be proficient in statistical inferencing because statistics drives a lot of concepts of data analysis, and having this skill is going to take you a long way. And being responsible to provide reports, provide dashboards to make sure you drive the insights and make these insights available and understandable by a wide variety of people is something which is very important. And of course, since I've mentioned you'll be working with a lot of data, so it is very vital that you keep the data in check, make sure that there is no unauthorized usage or changes that goes through to the data itself. Now, coming on towards the salary trends of a data analyst in the year 2021 and beyond, of course, one of the most important things we look at whenever we look at a domain is the salary, right? It is the most common factor for us. But did you know that there is a 50% increase in total job requirements since the year 2018 and beyond for data analysis? See, the total amount of jobs that we have in India for data science and data analytics is a whopping 100,000 or 1 lakh, right? So these are the current number of openings that we have even during an ongoing pandemic or what people call as recession periods as well. Now understand this, India also has a total contribution of somewhere around 8% to the entire field of data analysis, and when you look at it from the domain perspective, this is a huge number to the world. So with this, to sate your curiosity about all the salary trends, here are the numbers on your screen right now. An associate data analyst who just started out his or her career can expect a salary of somewhere around 5,10,000 rupees per annum, and of course $56,000 in the US. A senior data analyst who has a bit of experience and a good amount of skills can expect a pay of 9 lakhs per annum in India and $87,000 in the United States. A lead data analyst will be proficient in all or in fact most of the components of data analysis, and hence there is a hefty pay of 18 lakhs per annum and $106,000 in India and US respectively. Coming to the product manager's role, which is the culmination of working your way towards being a fresher in data analysis to an expert, there is a very good pay of 29 lakhs per annum in India and of course $160,000 in the USA. But be wary that these are average numbers which are considered by taking in both the lower limit and the upper limit as well. But since we're talking about a domain which is popular, the number always sways towards the high paying side. So you definitely can expect a lot more salary than you see on the screen right now. But then that totally depends on your skill. And to skill up for free, I would highly recommend you guys check out Great Learning Academy, where you can work through course certifications across multiple domains for free. Now, coming to the industries that pay the high amounts. So you have the consumer goods industry that pay an average salary of 14 lakhs per annum in India. You have the finance industry at 13 lakhs per annum. Energy and mining commissions at 12 lakhs per annum. And of course, the world of media and communications with a very good average salary of 10 lakhs per annum for data analysts. So you can see that there are a lot of industries, and of course, there's hundreds and hundreds of industries who see the potential of data analysis and are looking for proficient data analysts themselves. So now after this, it is very vital that you know about all the free resources that you can use to work on your ways to to work on your way towards increasing knowledge on data analysis. See, here are 3 ways that you can do so. We have Great Learning Academy, where, as I just mentioned, you will get free course certifications across multiple domains. We have the Great Learning YouTube channel, but make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that bell icon so that you're in touch with all the content that we put out here. And of course, we have Great Learning blogs for all the people who love reading blogs as well. But then if you're very serious about your career in data analysis and you want to step it up a notch, I would highly recommend you check out the specializations and the post-graduation offerings we have at Great Learning. We have many programs which are done in collaboration with multiple universities across the globe, which also involves a lot of Ivy schools as well. So I would highly recommend you head to the Great Learning website to check this out. On that note, if you did love the content you saw and if you took away a wealth of information, we would highly appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and of course leave a like and share this amongst friends and family members whom you think can make a fullest use out of this. On that note, you've come to the end of the session.